Good evening. It's 6 o'clock on Monday, February 13th, 2017. Welcome and thank you for joining us tonight for the English edition of Aura News, where we bring you today's top stories translated into English every weeknight. Even though the opposition has abandoned the ad hoc commission on electoral reform, the socialist co-chairman of the commission has called the opposition members to return to the commission. Apart from the OSCE recommendations for the electoral reform, the Socialist MP Taulant Bala made a new proposal public today and invited the Democrat members to rejoin the commission meetings to discuss the proposal. The Socialist Party is proposing that any judges or prosecutors who resigned before the vetting process be excluded from the right to run for MPs in the upcoming elections. We propose that all judges and prosecutors who did not go through the vetting process not be included on the list of political party candidates for the June 18th elections. Parliament has already voted to not allow people with criminal convictions on the candidate list, but we will not even allow judges and prosecutors who have not been vetted. We propose to discuss this at the Commission of Laws, said the Socialist MP, adding that if the Democratic Party continues to boycott the Commission, the legal method will be followed for the proposal based on Parliament's regulations. Democratic Party Chairman Lulzam Basha held a meeting today in Kavaja, the symbol city, where anti-communism protests were first held. The DP chairman invited Kavaja's citizens to join the February 18th protest in Tirana to defend freedom and the free vote, saying, "We are here today to say to all citizens that this is not a battle between political parties, but this is a citizens' battle against poverty, unemployment, arrogance, and humiliation. This is a battle to defend free and honest elections." He also issued a strong accusation against the government. Kavaja's citizens are against drug trafficking. The corrupt government is connected to criminals such as Kavaja's former mayor, who continues to illegally exert his duty. Edi Rama needs Elvis Roshi because he is afraid of a free and honest vote, said Basha. During the DP chairman's speech, a citizen provoked the Democratic Party supporters, speaking of the good work of Kavaja's former mayor. DP supporters removed the person and police escorted him out. Today, the Minister of Interior, Samir Tahiri, inspected the reconstruction work for Police Department No. 6 in the Combinat area, where he declared that the newly reconstructed police department will offer more modern services. The minister was asked about the robbery near Rennes Airport, where $3.2 million were stolen. He replied that the investigation is on the right path, though investigating such issues takes time. The state police have discovered several items of import, including about several bank robberies, and is doing an excellent job. Investigations are progressing, and I would ask you to be patient. I want to thank you for expecting us to discover the truths within a day. This standard is a sign of trust in us. However, such events are not discovered within a day in any country of the world. At any rate, we are taking your belief in us as the best kind of encouragement to work harder and progress with the investigations. Be patient, the results will come soon, declared the Minister of Interior. Meanwhile, the investigation to ascertain the thieves continues. Sources within the investigative team say that the money was from a commercial bank situated in one of the main hotels of the capital. Albanian Minister of Defense received her Kosovar counterpart today. In a joint press conference, they stressed that European integration is the focus of their work. After the recent tensions between Kosovo and Serbia regarding both the construction of a wall north of Mitrovica and Serbia's train emblazoned with nationalist graffiti, the Minister of Defense appealed to Serbia to discontinue promoting false conflicts. Any effort to create false nationalistic tensions will have our joint and steadfast response so that we can continue our biggest dream, that of having every nation of the region part of the Atlantic integration, said the Albanian Minister of Defense. The Serb parliament members have blocked the Kosovo security forces from transforming into a proper army, and the Minister of Kosovo's Armed Forces, Haki Demoli, had this to say regarding the issue. The transformation of Kosovo's security forces into proper armed forces hasn't received the vote of the Serbian community representatives in the Kosovo parliament. There must be pressure from every possible Kosovo institution to realize this, he said. Both ministers signed a cooperation plan for 2017, which predicts joint training activities. The Prime Minister was present today during the presentation of the project for constructing 43 new schools in Tirana in cooperation with public-private partnerships. During his speech, the Prime Minister announced that the government's $1 billion project will impact the country, doubling economic growth in the next 2 to 3 years. This program will have a great economic and social impact to Tirana and will double economic growth in Albania. Our communities will have dozens of newly inaugurated schools. The growth we have today is significantly better than the situation we found when we first took power. The annual growth was between 0 and 1%. Today, it is 3.5%, and we are aiming to take it above 6% or more without doubt, declared the Prime Minister. To the Minister of Education, improving educational infrastructure is an investment in education. Tirana's mayor believes the development of the capital is proof of the government working. If we want to continue with this rhythm, to continue to do something every day, the answer is very clear. We must have Edi Rama as the Prime Minister on June 18th, declared the mayor. The new schools will be constructed based on a study made by City Hall. Working for constructing 3 schools has already begun, and 53 schools will be constructed in total. The National Institute of Statistics, Instat, publicized its latest data today on the total population of Albania, which is estimated at 2.88 million as of January 1st, 2017, registering an increase of 1,000 citizens for the first time since 2011. Instat estimates that Albania's population grew by 1,000 inhabitants since last year, with the total population of Albania calculated at 2,876,591 inhabitants for January 1st, 2017. Last year's January 1st registration totaled 2,875,592. During 2016, roughly 32,000 infants were born and 21,000 people died. The number of births continues to exceed the number of deaths, but the difference between them has been narrowing over the years, and there has been a reduction in the number of births since 2011, an observation over the period of 2010 to 2016. The gender ratio at birth is approaching the natural level, with 106.9 males per 100 females, whereas the male-to-female ratio in 2015 was 109.5 per 100. The gender ratio of the total population has also reached slightly more neutral levels compared with 2015. The median age of the population has increased from 2015, where it was 34 years old, to 35 years old in 2016. Tirana occupies the highest proportion of the population, with 30% of the country's total population, followed by Fier with 11% and Durrës and Elbasan with 10% each. Meanwhile, the cities with the lowest rate of population are Gjirokastra with 2%, Kukës with 3%, Dibra and Leja with 4%, Berat with 5%, and Shkodra and Vlora with 7%. Instat figures show the population increased in 3 districts, while it decreased in all 9 other prefectures across the country. The highest growth rate was registered in Tirana, followed by Durrës and Vlora. The highest decline rates were recorded in Gjirokastër, Dibër, Berat, and Kukës. That's all for our English edition this evening. Please join us again Monday through Saturday at 6 p.m. for your local news in English. My name is Mari, and on behalf of Aura News, thank you and good night.